video is for the lesson 1.3 notes, distance on a number line. Okay, so we're going to start with midpoint. All right, on a number line, point A is located at -3 and point B is located at 9. Determine the midpoint between A and B. So first thing, we find the distance from point A to point B. So we can use the distance formula, okay? So this is D equals the absolute value of x1, our first value, minus our second value. You can flip them because it's absolute value, okay? So it doesn't matter the order you write these in. So we would do D equals the absolute value, and so our first one is -3 minus 9. Okay, so how we do absolute value. Okay, so in the calculator, let's see if we can see all this at the same time here. It's going to be this button right next to the 9. Okay, so here's the 9. This one right here. If you look, this symbol, that's the absolute value symbol, and we can type that in there. Now make sure you're using the right symbols. -3, and then this one is minus 9. And it will calculate absolute value for you. Okay. All right, so determine half of that distance. So half of 12 is 6. Again, you can use your calculator. And then add that value to the coordinate point A. So this was A, this was B. So A was -3 plus 6 would give us a 3. So the coordinate of the point of on the number line, half of the distance from A to B, that's the midpoint, would be 3. So this would be our midpoint. Okay. All right, so on a number line, point A is located at -6 and point B is located at 8. Determine the midpoint. So we do the absolute value first. So -6 minus 8. Again, you can flip them. You could do 8 minus -6. Just don't lose your symbols. Don't drop a sign. So absolute value, -6 minus 8 is 14. 14. And then we half that. Half of 14 is 7. And then we add that to point A. -6 plus 7 equals 1. 1 would be the midpoint. Okay? On a number line, point A is located at -5 and point B is located at 3. Okay? Absolute value is the first thing we do. So -5 minus 3. Okay? -5 minus 3 is 8. Okay? Then half of 8 is 4. And then we take point A, so the first point, -5 plus 4 equals a -1. So -1 would be the midpoint. Okay, on a number line, point A is located at -4 and point B is located at 7. Determine the midpoint. So we do the distance first, the absolute value. Okay. -4 minus 7. Absolute value would be 11. Now this time, half of 11 is not pretty. Half of 11 is 5.5. Again, you can do this in the calculator. You can divide it by 2. Now, if you divide it by 2 and you don't put the decimal at the end, it's going to make it a fraction. Okay, so what I did, put a decimal at the end, and that way it gives it to me in decimal form. And then we add that to point A. So -4 plus 5.5 would give me 1.5. Okay. All right. Now, so that's just midpoint. Now we're going to do fractional distances. So on a number line, point A is located at -3 and point B is located at 9. Determine the location of the point a fourth of the distance from A to B. Okay, so here's A, here's B. First, we're going to find the distance. Same thing that we've been doing. So -3 minus 9. And we've already done that. That's 12. Now we determine a fourth of that distance. So we would do a fourth times 12. And that is the same as 12 divided by 4. Okay? So you could do, let me do it this way. You could do it this way. 1/4 and then multiply it by 12. It's going to give you the same answer. Okay? So that equals 3. Okay. A fourth of the distance from A to B. So that means we're starting with A. We're going a fourth of the distance from A. So we would take point A's location, -3, and we would add what we calculated into that, and it equals 0. And that is a location, so that is here. It's not, we don't have an answer. That's the location of the answer. The coordinate of the point on the number line, a fourth of the distance from A to B, is 0. Okay, here we go. Same numbers again. Point A is at -3, point B is located at 9. So we know for all of these are the same way. Okay, did that on purpose. We know the distance for all of these is 12 because we've already done it. Okay. All right, this one is determine the location of the point that's 3/5 of the distance from A to B. So we would do 3/5 of 12. Okay. So 3/5, I'm just going to do it this way, times 12. Ooh, gives us something gross. So 36/5, I'm going to make it a decimal, 7.2. Okay. And then we add that, so we're going from A. So we take A's value and we add that 3/4 of a distance, which would give us 4.2. And if you need to use the calculator to do that, that's okay. All right, this time we're going a fourth of the distance. So we're doing, oh, we've already done that one. A fourth, oh, no, we haven't. Look what this one says. Determine the location of the point 1/4 of the distance from B to A. So it's flipped it. This one was from A to B. This one is from B to A. So here's where the kind of switcheroo happens. If you're going the other direction, start with B. Oh, this is 3. And you're going to subtract that. Okay, so from A to B, if we're moving right on the number line, we're going to add. If we're going left on the number line, we're going to subtract. Okay, so that's where you have to be careful with these. Make sure you know what location you're going. All right, last one, 3/5 of the distance from B to A. So again, we've already done 3/5. So we know 3/5 of 12 is 7.2, but we're going from B. So B is at 9. So we would do 9 minus 7.2. And that would be 1.8. So be real careful with your directions on these. All right, that's it for this set of notes.